Well, Cambodia's 1994 law on investment has established an open and liberal investment regime in Cambodia. The kingdom is one of the most open most open economies in ASEAN, thanks to a business-friendly government with recent strong pro-business reform record. So, for example, there is no discrimination. 100% of foreign-owned companies are welcome in Cambodia. No foreign exchange control. Low taxes. The tax on profit of 20% is the lowest of the region, and almost all goods exported are exempted of custom duties. Investment incentive scheme, also very favorable, thanks to the CDC, QIP have benefits such as tax profit holidays up to 9 years, as well as import duty exemptions. Concentrated investment zones. Cambodia has 33 special economic zones now. There is an easiness to repatriate profit. There is no restriction on foreign exchange operation through authorized banks, of course. There is a very competitive labor force. The government and private sector working group. There is a real dialogue going on between the private sector and the public sector through what we call a government and private sector forum. There is an easy access to relevant government officials. That's unusual, I think, in Asia, and here in Cambodia they're very open to meet us. No trade restrictions, and there are long-term land lease possible in Cambodia as well. So economically, all signals are green. Cambodia is increasingly integrating with the region and has enjoyed macroeconomic growth and stability for 2 decades now. In that period, the Cambodia economy enjoyed a rapid growth of an average 7% per year. Its GDP now is roughly 18 billion. Inflation is low, 3%. Debt to GDP is only 32%. Low budget deficit, 4%. The international reserves are I think close or over $5 billion. So which are the sectors that are driving the economy? There is the garment sector. The construction and services are still the main driver of the Cambodian economy. Among the tertiary industry, tourism sector is very important to the economy of the country. It represents almost 14% of the GDP and employs totally 1 million people. I'm talking about direct and indirect employment. I think directly is about 800,000, so it's quite important. The trade volumes for the country are over 20 billion from only 10 years ago. Export to EU countries account for 4.5 billion, mainly in textile and clothing. The European FDI flows to Cambodia is close to 2 billion in stock. However, I think approved investment by CDC now for Europe is about 3.7 billion. That would place European investment third behind China, which has, I think, in stock or approved 11 billion in investment, and then Korea 4.4, and then it's followed by Malaysia, Vietnam, and the US. So the total foreign investment in Cambodia, if I'm not wrong, is around 22 billion. So far, the investment approved by CDC, as I understand them, the one I just talked about, is 40% in the tourism sector, 30% in industry, 20% in service, and 10% in agriculture. Where are the opportunities for interested investors to come to Cambodia? I would say first and foremost the agriculture and the agro industry. There is a lot of needs here. Of course, needs means opportunity, and I think the government will be very pushy to get investors in that area. Of course, all labor incentive industries create opportunities because of the competitiveness of its labor force. The processing industry, the tourism sector, as mentioned, is a driving force of the economy. The transportation and logistic, ICT, energy, oil, gas and mining, human resource development and education. So that's how I see the environment in general, and how the European companies integrate in that wonderful environment. CDC is a sole and one-stop service organization that help to reduce or exempt the taxation and helps to coordinate the administrative part for investor with different ministries, and there are many ministries. So CDC is really the body that helps around the table to have all the ministry and deal with the project. So that's a very good organization. So they provide information and receive application from investor. They evaluate and approve project, of course, but you need to have a certain level of investment, of course, to apply. They provide custom duty and tax exemption. They deliver visa and work permits. They help register qualified companies, and it's a real. If we had to give a name to CDC, it's a real investor care service provider, and they really take care of the investor. Well, I think it's proven effective. Because, as I mentioned, the investment has increased year by year. Last year we were close to $1 billion or over $1 billion. I'm not sure. I haven't seen yet the confirmed figure. $1 billion in investment in Cambodia. It's a lot. It helps a lot for its development. Who are the European investor in Cambodia? The EU investor in Cambodia are mainly French, German, British. We have a few Italian and Dutch investors. To these dates, the chamber that I have the honor to lead have members, about 300 members. 50% of those members are SME and 50% are larger corporations. The predominant sector of investment for the European company now are in tourism and service. According to the increasing level of purchasing power among the middle class in Cambodia, there are significant opportunity for European company to increase the value of its export to Cambodia. In 2013, the total was about 240 million, for example. That's the figure I have in mind. Cambodians are being exposed to foreign brands now. Their lifestyle choice and will demand more option and greater quality. We can see it almost every year. New brands coming in, franchise in F&B, clothes, cosmetics, F&B goods as well. So I think several European brands have already developed an activity in Cambodia, in industry also such as automobiles, fashion, cosmetics, pharmaceutical, household appliances. For the moment, the goods imported fill a specific need for a specific Cambodian elite, right? First, the European Union and Cambodia have a long-lasting relation, as the EU is the largest trading partner now of Cambodia, and we are potentially the third investors in the kingdom. Since Cambodia integrated the ASEAN market, has done improvement on reforms, political stability, investors are attracted, but the foreign direct investments still remain small for European companies. In 2014, Cambodia received only 0.3% of total ASEAN bound investment from the EU, only 86 million of about 29 billion in ASEAN. You have to you have to realize that the EU is the #1 investor in ASEAN overall. So it means Cambodia have a long way to go, have a great potential to attract new investor. Recently, the government budget that was just passed in December indicates a political will from the government in investing in its youth, in education. So education, as I saw it, was the #1 budget line, and together with sound reform in the legal system and law enforcement, I think it will pave the way for more rapid EU investment growth. As a Eurocham chairman, I notice a real interest for European countries to invest in Cambodia or to expand their activity in the region, and there are several indicators. First, in our chamber, we have a 40% increase in number of members. In 2015, we were 180 members. We passed now the mark of 300 members. Second, our outreach program is designed to invite, present. Can I say it again? Second, our outreach program is designed to invite EU companies from the region to come to Cambodia, and for this, we're organizing next week an event in Bangkok where we are addressing over 120 companies who are coming to our invitation to hear about Cambodia. And if I compare to similar conference we organized 10 years ago, where we interest maybe 20 companies, the fact that we have 120 companies next week show that the perception of the country outside of its border has changed positively. So now we have really to transform that interest into real investment in the country. Third, we have taken initiative within Eurocham to create new national chambers because we see more companies from Italy, for example. So currently we are working to create the Italian Chamber of Commerce, and also companies coming from northern European countries are here, and they're working together to create a North Chambers. So hopefully we will launch all this mid 2017. Finally, to answer increasing demand and to be more efficient, Eurocham with CDC is working on implementation of EU desk to become an efficient bilateral interface for trade and investment between the two countries. So if I can to conclude, and I've been here for 20 years, and I see the pace is increasing. I'm still very bullish on reason to invest in Cambodia. And to sum up of everything we discussed, I would say that there is a macroeconomic stability, a real pro-business government that is unequal outside in ASEAN, competitive investment incentives, this one-stop service investment promotion agency, the CDC, preferential access to regional and world markets, investment protection is good, can be better, and we have this dialogue with the government to make it better. Efficient infrastructure and strategic location, a sound financial sector, abundant resource, labor, land. So Cambodia is the place to go now. I think the government is engaging itself in reforms that are necessary to speed up Cambodia's development, to catch up with other countries, and we are catching up, and that's, I hope it will continue, and it will go further and accelerate even more those reforms.